Hello, third grade friends. Diane here. I'm so happy to see you. Today, we're going to be talking about strategies for addition and subtraction. Before we get started, let's review what we know about the word strategies. Let's use the Frere Model to help us out. Are you ready? Let's get started. To make our Frere Model, you will need a piece of paper and a pen, a pencil, or a marker. I'm going to get my supplies. You go ahead and do the same. Now that we have our supplies, let's begin to make our Frere Model. Let's take a piece of paper and fold it in half, hamburger style. And then fold it in half again to make 4 equally sized rectangles. Then, in the corner of our paper, where all sides are folded, we're going to fold down to make a small triangle. Right. When you unfold your paper, it should look like this. Does yours look like mine? Okay, great. We're going to start with writing the word strategies in this center diamond because this is the word we need to understand more about. Then, in the upper left rectangle, we're going to define this term. So let's write the word definition here. In the upper right rectangle, we're going to provide an example of a strategy. So let's write example here. And then, in the lower left rectangle, we'll provide a non-example, or what strategies are not. So write non-example here. Finally, in the lower right rectangle, we'll draw a picture to help us visualize what strategies are. So let's write the word picture here to remind us of what we're supposed to do. Now, we're going to define the word strategy together. So let's write the definition in our upper left rectangle. A strategy is a method that can be used to solve a math problem. So if I want to solve a problem involving addition and subtraction, I could use estimation, friendly numbers, or other strategies to help me think through the problem. I'm going to give you some time to write the definition in your Frere Model. Right. As we use strategies to help us think through the math in today's lesson, you'll be able to add examples, non-examples, and draw a picture to share your growing toolbox of math strategies. Let's place our Frere Model to the side and take a look at this email from one of my students. I thought about you today when I heard this math problem that was posed by one of my students. Do you want to hear it? Could use your help in giving her some ideas on how to solve it. So the email she sent me says, "Dear Diane, I have a big problem that I need your help with. My brother Jose and I are competing to see who ends up with the high score in our favorite video game. He has a score of 423 and I'm at 247. How many more points do I need to tie his score? Please help, Angela. Well, mathematicians, do you think we can help her? Awesome. When I'm solving a problem, I like to start by summarizing it so I can make sure that I understand what the problem is asking me to do. Can you help me summarize this problem by telling me who is in the problem? Exactly, Angela and Jose. And what do we need to find out? How many points Angela needs to get to Jose's score of 423? What do we already know? Angela has 247 points and her brother has 423. Great. I think I understand what this problem is asking me to do. So now, let's take a moment and think about how we could represent this problem with pictures, models, or numbers. You may want to draw something out on your paper at home. All right, let's see what you got. Those are all great ideas. Let me see if I can share those. One idea is to use a bar model. One bar has 423 and the other has 247. The first bar shows us Jose's score of 423, and this one shows Angela's score of 247. If I compare Angela's scores to Jose's by putting Angela's bar on top, we can see that there is an unknown number of points needed to reach 423. That model really helps me better understand the problem. Another idea that I heard you share involves a number line. We know that Angela has 247 points. I'll put this here. And then we need to get to Jose's 423 points, so I'll put that here. For both of these representations, it looks like I need to find the number of points needed to get from 247 to 423. We'll call that the distance. Looking at our two models, how could I represent this problem with an equation? Exactly. I could use 247 plus an unknown number equals 423. That makes sense to me. Before we solve, let's estimate the missing addend so that we'll know if our solution is reasonable. I'm going to estimate by rounding to the nearest hundred. So 247 is closest to 200, and 423 is closest to 400. So that's 200 plus something equals 400. That would be 200. Angela would need about 200 more points to tie her brother. Okay, ready to solve? Let's start by looking at our equation again. We'll call this an adding up strategy, and I'll use the number line to show this. I need to start at 247 and add until I get to 423. There are lots of different ways that we could do this, but one thing that I try is to use friendly numbers, or the tens and hundreds. These numbers can be easily added together. Let's see what that might look like. Right. So I know that if I add 3 to 247, I land on 250. And 250 is a friendly number. 250 plus 50 more will put me at 300. And 300 is another friendly number. Then I can add 100 more to get to 400. Then adding 23 will get me to 423. How do I know how much I added all together? Right, we want to look at the jumps. So we have added all of our jumps, 3, 50, 100, and 23. I don't have to add it in any particular order, so I can do it in a way that makes sense to me, and you can do it in a way that makes sense to you. I'm just going to add it in order. So we have 3 plus 50 equals 53. And then 53 plus 100 equals 153. And 153 plus 23 equals 176. So 247 plus 176 equals 423. So Angela needs to get 176 points to tie with her brother. Is 176 a reasonable answer? Sure is. Our estimate was 200, and 176 is pretty close. If I had gotten 76 as my answer, I would know that my answer wasn't close to my estimate, and that I would need to go back and check my work. Could you solve this in a different way? I'll give you a moment to try it on your own. Right. What strategy did you use? Could you tell me or show me? Wow, those are all great strategies. There are so many different ways that you can solve this problem. Did you get 176 as your solution? Great. Finding different ways to solve a problem can help you become a more flexible thinker. And it's fun. Oh, before we go, let's finish up today by returning to our Frere model. Earlier, we gave a definition for strategies in math. We said that a strategy is a method that can be used to solve a math problem. In your Frere model, can you write an example of one of the strategies that we used today? That's right, we used estimation and friendly numbers like tens and hundreds to solve the problem. I bet you came up with other strategies as well. After the lesson, I want to challenge you to add in more pictures and a non-example of math strategies into your Frere model. Thanks for helping me complete it. See y'all.